5:31. Let's call the roll, please.
All right. Remington,
Here.
Delicio,
Present.
Kelly,
Here.
Thomas, Shirley.
Here.
Okay. Do we have any public present?
No.
No public? Okay. Then we'll go on to approve the minutes of the April 13th meeting. Has everybody read them?
Yes, I had no corrections.
Does anybody have a correction?
I do have a small one on page 2, number 6. Under Commissioner's Report, it says discussion of the event held at Tom Murphy's residence at 10 a.m. I think that should say 3, is that correct?
Oh, okay.
That's all I have.
I move to
Any
make,
other comment?
I make a motion to approve the minutes,
The amended minutes?
the amended minutes on April 13th.
Awesome.
I second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed? I think the minutes are approved.
All right.
Okay, we don't have any public hearings today. I don't know if we have any new business, do we, Chris?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I'm not aware of any either. Is anybody else aware of any new business? Okay,
I don't have anything.
let's go to the unfinished business. City-owned buildings. Do we have any update on that, Chris?
I have an update on Fort Wooten. I reached out to our grants writer to get some information to Bill on some possible grants they could obtain. And hopefully I can work with them on getting some funding through the Historical Preservation Commission and then through the other grant sources. If we could get one grant funded, then I think we could get piggyback on that grant and get some other additional funding for them. So that's
That'd be awesome.
that's what I've been working on, and after I get Fort Wooten off my plate, then my next focus is City Hall.
Okay. All right. We're going to do a work session after we finish this meeting to talk about the June 3rd events. So we'll skip over that for now and go to reports. Do we have any? I don't have any chairman's report. Does any commissioner have a report?
No.
Not related to June 3rd?
All right, I have a report. I attended the Main Street meeting, or you said it was tourism? I thought it was Main Street.
This morning, tourism.
Was I there?
I think so, yes.
I attended the tourism meeting this morning and went over what historic preservation does, and I passed out the flyers to everyone and recommended that they attend. They had a lot of questions about what we do, and I hope that we can promote outreach between the different groups. And that was my report.
Great, okay.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Chris. I think all along, or not all along, but for many months, we have talked about how much we want to coordinate and collaborate with other, relevant groups. So that's a great connection to have and to make.
Yeah, if we could make a push to like maybe attend one meeting this month, this coming month, and promote the event, I think that would be helpful.
Yes, I went to a meeting.
Which
I
one?
went to the network council meeting last week. Told them all about it, and they sent out a flyer to everybody.
Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, any other reports before we go to our work session? Thank you all for being here tonight. We have the worst air quality in the entire region, twice as bad as Raton tonight.
I don't understand that, how that can be. That Raton, is it because we're lower, or?
I don't know either, but
Must be the wind.
that's the official weather news.
It's
Is that
officially
we're
bad, that's for sure.
extremely unhealthy and Raton's just unhealthy.
I left my sunscreen open, and there was literally pieces of charcoal on my seat today.
Yeah.
And ash last night.
A lot of ash last night.
Little pieces of charcoal all over my seat.
That's
Wow.
It's very bad, so be careful. Tomorrow might be slightly better, but not much. Just because it's going to be cooler.
Good.
Okay, so hearing no further business, I'll accept a motion to adjourn the regular meeting and we'll go to work session.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay, we will close the Historic Preservation Commission regular meeting
5:30.
at 5:39, and we will transfer to a work session about our June 3rd event. And Elizabeth will be chairing that session.
Thank you, Jana. I'm going to be just looking at our work plan, or the minutes of our work session from April 8th. It's a document that I'm kind of help keep me on track. I don't know if you guys all have that, but I'll just read from it, if you don't, and try to be brief as possible. So I just wanted to remind ourselves, or the commission, we did talk about in the future going forward that it would be good to have a coordinator. In other words, if we're going to do this event annually, if the commission is going to do the event annually, that it be that we plan for one of us to be the coordinator. This was our first time, so we're just figuring things out, and that's all good. But going forward, it might be good just to have someone say, "Oh, okay, I'll be on board. I'll do the coordination," and then they can get rolling earlier in the year, so we can just help with our communication. But so that would be our recommendation. So I think we need to keep that on our radar and have someone maybe volunteer for that in the next couple of months, even just to get started. So. I know we talked about flyer distribution. Does anybody else want to talk about places that you've been able to place flyers? Jana, you said you talked to the Network Council last week and got the flyer out there.
Yes, and Rotary has flyers, and the A.R. Mitchell has a flyer. The library bookstore will post a flyer. They didn't want to do it a month early, but they're going to do that. And I haven't taken one to Main Street Live yet, but I will do that this week.
I did get one, I think Tom Murphy posted one, Tom Potter, at the library for us, and then, let's see, I handed one out to a couple places just along Main Street. Yeah, I think, the Noah's Thrift Store, the coffee shop, Meet Me Coffee Shop, Trinidad Trends, maybe, yeah, Drop City, so that little section there on Main Street. Anybody else?
I was able to give quite a few out at the craft fair Saturday. Yeah, just the public, just the general public.
Yeah.
And I also gave away all of your wildflower seeds
Mm,
at the,
wow,
from the Rotary.
And we have them growing downstairs.
really?
Oh, really?
Yes, 2 pots full of flowers.
Mm. I didn't
What's
know
the
that.
name? It's the Jana Remington Garden.
Wow.
Wish we could put them outside in our garden.
Well, I got them out
Rotary Garden.
up the river.
How about, Elizabeth, have you talked to KRTN about doing an announcement a week before?
I have not. That's a good segue though, so we can, I just did a really rough, super rough public service announcement draft, and I think it's Chris. I think I said it to you and Jana, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm getting not sure who I sent things to, but so it's just 2 regional media subject, Echoes of History, Saving Trinidad's Past, sponsored by the City of Trinidad Historic Preservation Commission on June 3rd, 3 to 5, free events, and then basically just repeating what's in our flyer, and then of course lucky you as contact Chris for any questions.
I have no objections to putting your name in there, Elizabeth.
Well, whatever works, and we could put it or,
Yeah.
like you could certainly put both of us on there, but
Definitely. I think it would be
So
fine
this
to post. I'm going to go ahead and approve that
okay, cool.
for the radio.
So this was supposed to go out to whomever. It was the KRTN. I have like a local, and I'm sure you do too, Chris. But all this forward you, I just have a group list that I created for media. It's just Trinidad the Chronicle, World Journal. I don't think you're on it though, Gene. I don't think, but you've already put this in on the calendar for New Legends. Is that right?
That's correct. It's been on there for about a month. And I did get it out to Primero School and the Weston area and what is it called? Ringo's and Segundo.
Ringo.
Oh, great.
And I think we should probably go to the Southern Colorado Mining Museum and A.R. Mitchell and try to get them. I'll try to do that. And I'll volunteer to go to KRTN a week before, if it's a Friday, or the Friday before, don't you think?
No, that'd be awesome. And I think I had said I was going to try to connect with the Miners Museum,
Okay.
but I know, I was kind of making, but I don't know them, and if someone else does, usually it's, best if you have a connection, and so I don't really know Yolanda, and I was just going to cold call her, but what do you guys think?
Well, I know her. I can
Very
go by
friendly.
I can go by there too this weekend, probably. So,
Okay. Because I think we were going to ask you if they wanted to have an information table. Because that was part of our effort, like Chris going to this meeting she went to today, just to make it an extra effort to have some of these other groups join us, not just as attendees, but also as kind of as participants, or at least having an information table there. Gianna, who did you connect with that was going to have an information table?
The A.R. Mitchell's gonna have a table.
oh, good. Well, I'll ask Yolanda. I'll see if she's there this weekend. And try to
Did
see.
anybody from the Visitors Bureau ever call you, Mary Hackett? Chris?
Marty.
Marty or
Marty Hackett.
has he contacted me?
It's a girl, it's a woman.
Oh, no.
We need to. Maybe she will.
Because I actually made physical contact with her, and she was going to contact you.
No, just the guy. What's his name? I had to go up and introduce myself.
Is it the same thing? Visitors and tourists?
I think he's with the Welcome Center.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name now.
Did we order the cookies yet, or is she ordering? Gemma's.
Jana,
Madam Chair,
if you order the cookies, I will pay for them and get reimbursed through the city.
I already ordered them,
Okay.
and I'll touch base with her a week ahead.
All right.
So
She'll
for the
deliver them
drinks,
to us.
for the drinks, I was just gonna, like, the day before, go buy some.
Okay. And I'll get you some cash.
So keep
I
the
just need receipts.
Keep the receipt.
Yes. That way we don't have to sign up everybody as a vendor and go through that hassle.
Yes.
I had a question about the banners. Are we going to go with banners or not? Because we really need to get a design working, and are we going to do it?
yeah, so I also emailed about that, and so all I did was put together just basically the graphics that we used in our flyer and put it in their little pre-formed templates that they have on the website for those. So I think it would be really nice to have one, but it's also again, here we are, just very a couple weeks away, and I think it would be cool to have a banner at both at the Chappelle House, at Trinidad History Museum, that just say echoes of history, and I think you could turn it around fairly quickly, and if someone wants to just take that on, but we have to pay for them, we need money, for them.
If someone could give me a design, the template design, I can go out and get some quotes and get that turned around pretty quickly.
Well, I sent you three, Chris, not to put you on the spot, but I did get quotes on three.
Oh, you did?
And I can resend that to you. And it was just the very basic echoes of history and the graphics that we used, and then there were three quotes for different kind of large size banners.
I'm sorry I didn't see that, but I'll definitely take a look for it. I'll look for it.
Okay.
I think it needs to say public invited.
Oh.
We don't want it to seem like it's some private party.
Well, I mean, if there's room on it, maybe Chris, if you can take a look, at what I sent and then see what you think, and I would just defer, to you in terms of design, I think very basic, again, the city logo, Chappelle House, Trinidad History Museum graphic, and the title of our event, and then if it has to say, and if it's real public invited, that would be great, but if we can get all that on there.
If we're gonna do a banner, we should do the biggest one we can get, because it's still gonna be hard to see from the street.
True.
Can we say public
And besides, we're
event?
gonna use it year after year, so we don't even want a date on it.
Right.
Say that again, Chris.
Can we use public event instead of public invited?
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. So maybe just take a look at those, and like Jan said, you can get the biggest one, because I think the three different banner companies that I sent you have different sizes, and you can just easily,
Yeah, I want to get similar quotes
But you have to make sure you have those punch holes where you're going to tie it to something.
at the ends. Right.
What are those called?
Eyelets.
Eyelets, and I have string. I have some green. What color is it going to be like that?
It probably won't.
Doesn't
It matters.
Why?
Just as long as we can get them up there and they won't blow down.
Can we put it on your fence, Tom?
I'm sorry, what?
Can we put the banner on your fence, maybe, to invite the public? If we get a big banner, is there
There's plenty of places to
plenty
put
of
it.
places to put it on your front?
Yeah. Yep. Let me know when I can ask some questions. So.
Can, anytime.
Anytime.
Oh, okay.
It's an
So-
open meeting.
So, my apologies. I've been a little out of sorts for the last 2 months. First, I had sewer issues and had to move out down to my building below. And then my mother had a heart attack and survived. So I've been a little bit overwhelmed caring for her. We brought her home. She's doing well. But so on the 3rd, on that Friday at 3 o'clock, it's starting at my place, right? And for an hour, I can give tours. I can't give the whole building because there's 5 levels. It'll be a little, yeah. Maybe if you guys want private tours at a later date, but when we have that many people, I can kind of do the main floor and part of our residence. My mom's up there too, so I have to close her door. But and you guys wanted me to do a little presentation, as I recall, correct?
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Storytelling. So how long do you want? How much story do you want, and how long? Because I can do it off the cuff for a long
Well,
time.
here's the time frame though, because we have to consider, we've got Christy Rogers is gonna do the audio tour presentation back over at the History Museum. So we need to be done, with the tour really by more like 3:50. So,
Okay.
from 3 to 3:50. So go ahead, but storytelling would be wonderful, and anything that you think that people would be interested in hearing about.
I guess maybe what I could do too to make it simpler, I might just take photos of the thing and do a video presentation in the chapel. Because walking everybody through the building is difficult. I mean, because there's 5 levels,
That's a great idea.
and I can give a couple or 3, 4 people a tour, but as I walk around, I mean, that there's 20, 30 minutes. So what I might do is just bring you guys in the chapel and do with my TVs a video presentation. And then, if people want to contact me later and they want a small private tour, I'll be happy to do that. But I think that will solve the problem too with
your application, that formal application that qualified you for landmarking, because you could refer to that people can read more about.
Oh yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
So I can.
That's a good idea.
I will work on that, but I will do
That's great.
I
like the idea that.
yeah, because it would be simple for me to put together
Is that
photos.
in-
Because
Is that in the
Huh?
first area? Is that in the?
yeah, it'll be in the chapel area with the
Yeah,
TVs.
that's
So I'll use the big screen TVs.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that'll make it a little bit
That's
easier.
awesome.
I
So
like that.
Because we really don't know how many people are going to show up. Obviously, I mean, I'm hoping it'll be, more than just us, but we'll see, and I suppose if there were not very many, you could just be flexible and just, take a few through. I love that idea of being in the chapel with the video. Yeah.
I will do it. I mean, it's simple enough to
And then
do.
we can, Jana or myself or Chris, if you're inclined, can do quick introduction. Tom, when we get there, round everybody up before we get started, say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And if there's any comments you'd like us to make on your behalf, let us know. Just shoot an email. And then Jen and I will also be kind of responsible for herding people back out and back over to the History Museum when we're done. So we might be, if people want to stay, we might be interrupting and saying, okay, folks, we're going to head back over. There's going to be a talk back at the museum, and we'll give those preliminary comments at the beginning. But then, if things go long or if people are lingering, we might make another reminder, and then we'll just head out. But if people want to stay, that's, they can stay. But we'll head back over to the museum.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Jenna?
Also have an overflow plan in case there are too many people. Maybe we can do a fake.
I've got
part
a lot
one
of
and
room.
Part 2. Oh, you do in the chapel?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's room for 150 chairs.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
It's a funeral
Just
chapel.
thinking a little
Yeah.
room.
I don't think there'll be more than like 40 people.
Okay.
I
That'll work.
just don't even know. I just don't know.
I hope there's at least 20 people.
I'm going to try to bring Mary Ellen Haydad. We should try to get Mary Ellen Haydad from the Trinidad
I don't
Historic
really think we
Society.
can leave them behind, Elizabeth.
I've reached out to them.
Move them
And they
across
haven't
the
even
street.
called.
Okay.
They haven't,
Okay.
but I have
They-
been not contacting the right people.
So we'll be the official herders. We'll introduce, do a little intro, say what things are what's gonna happen, and then we'll help move people. That'll be our role. But just if there's anything else that you need from us, Tom, thank you so much for allowing us to come into your place and helping us, because I think this will be a draw for people for sure. They're gonna want to see inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jean, I would go
but
ahead
we're
and
gonna-
reach out to her.
And I did talk to Erin, 'cause she was on the Erin Ogletree.
Mm-hmm.
She has to be out of town for her daughter from Russia is coming into Denver for that day, so she couldn't come. So I did reach out to her because she was on the historic preservation. We should probably ask the former chairman too, and
Yeah, I think we were going to reach out to Chris Smith at the Fox.
Chris. Well, she
I
tried.
did, but I got no response from him. I may try again.
Who was before Chris Smith? It was the guy that did the sample
I think they're working on it down there, but
The
logo.
sampling?
The logo that we asked. Georgie asked him to make the logo. Do you remember his name, Tom?
I'm sorry, what?
I have a blank.
Before Chris Smith was the chairman, he was also on the planning commission. What was his name?
No.
Do you remember?
I'm at so many meetings with so many people. I'm like, it's a
I can't
blur.
remember his name, but he was the one that.
I'll try again. And I even went online to see if I could find just an email to the organization, but I didn't find anything. They are online, but I didn't find any contact info.
No, I sent it to
For the
History
Fox Theater.
Colorado, and they said they were going to post it, but nothing about attendance has been expressed.
Well, as long as we send them the information, then you can show them we've done it. Our educational outreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we should take pictures and stuff like that of the
And share it with them.
event.
Yes.
Do we have someone who wants to be kind of on deck for taking photos? Just, someone whose job that is?
Well, I'm going to be sort of directing people, I guess, and I could take photos as well. I'm just going to be hanging out there at the museum, I guess, and I can take a lot of photos
Right.
on my cell phone and then
And so,
email them to someone.
So Shirley is going to be back at the museum, and then Jean, I don't know if you want to hang out there too at the museum, or do you want to be with us at Tom's place?
I want to be at the Chappelle, and I'll bring Steve, and we'll take some pictures of the Chappelle.
And
we'll
And I
walk
can
over.
take pictures of up above.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
If you guys did this like after 5 o'clock, we could have, happy hour there. Sorry, you do it be
Maybe
at 3 o'clock.
afterward.
It's too early.
Yeah.
Maybe after a party.
What do you serve?
Well, you bring your own, but we can just all hang
right?
out.
Okay. Well, we might come over after the museum, right?
Right. After
Have our
party.
party.
Yes.
And can we get something?
Well,
Ready.
when you see the deck, you'll be like,
Let's order
"We're gonna
out.
hang out
Get
there."
something delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Winter flight, so
Yeah, we want to keep on.
Hey.
Well, it's also the art night. Remember, it's the art
yeah,
night, so we
The
have to go
first Friday.
first Friday.
And it's also an opening at the Mitchell, an art opening.
Wow.
Oh, we'll go party at the
Yeah.
Mitchell,
Well,
and
maybe
we'll have everywhere to
Actually,
go.
have photos.
Just stay out all night.
So I want to talk a little bit about the music piece, and I'm sorry if I'm interrupting. It's kind of hard for me to get the feedback, and I'm like, ah. So we did invite Jim Richmond et al. He's the mandolin player, and I need to talk with him more specifically, but he's going to be there he and his bandmates from 3:30 to 5:30. Thinking, that there'll be a gap between when we're at the museum and at Tom's place, and he could be playing to kind of fill that gap, and then also play at the end of the speaking session, so that if people are still hanging out, they can enjoy that, and that would be 2 hours for $200. And so a couple things, we need to again put up who and how we're going to pay him. I did send an email to Jim and Chris so that he would have her email to follow up with submit an invoice. Told him that I didn't hear back from him yet, so I don't know. Hopefully he got the email. So we need to know about that, and then I don't know what y'all think about. I mean, he plays with a range of stuff, but I think you can do something kind of generic, more bluegrassy, kind of something that's consistent with the history of Trinidad. I don't really know what I'm trying to describe, but how should we tell him? What music should we ask him to play?
Diversified.
Bluegrass.
Bluegrass sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Sure.
The mandolin.
I love it. It sounds like it would blend in.
Historic kind of a music.
Do you have any music you like, Tom?
No, I'm fine.
Bluegrass, sure.
I like bluegrass blues.
Bluegrass blues.
Okay.
No, I mean just
Oh, just,
the bluegrass or the blues, or
yeah.
I'm easy. I'm a 60s, 70s rock and roll guy.
Any music is great by me.
Yeah, variety
All right, well-
package. Variety package. Just whatever he can play. He's probably got a lot of
Okay.
repertoire.
Well, he's a bona fide musician, and that's kind of, I know you guys are freaking fly, around, and he's really talented, so I think it'll be good. So Chris, is that good enough then? We just say invoice the city? Yeah?
Invoice, and maybe he may have to fill out a W-9, but I'm supposed to get that to you, correct?
The W9.
Well, yeah, if you could send that to me, that way I can pester him one more time and make sure he's on board and he got our email and he knows that you're the contact, to follow up to get paid. So,
Sure.
So that's all good.
All right.
And then quickly, I did talk just before this meeting to Christy Rogers and Al Melton at the museum, at the History Museum, so we could get our act together. And so they just talked a little bit about her audio tour, that she's going to present about the logistics. Will be on that west porch. They needed to just make sure she's got, internet hookup. She's just going to talk about kind of going from, let me grab my, from using basically this, right? This wonderful project that was created by the Trinidad Historical Society, and what her process was in converting it into an audio tour. So she'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to bring, if anybody else has one of these, that you could bring it, and then we can kind of pass them around just as a, handout, and people can look at them. And then she will project and play some of the audio from some of the different stops along the tour, and, just give some storytelling again about all the stories that are in this book, which you can hardly see because the place is so fine. It's wonderful information. It's just not super user friendly, I don't think. But that's what she did. She created it. She's excited to do it, but we have to have her out the door by 4:30 or a little earlier if possible, because they've got a commitment in Denver and they need to head out. So before we introduce her, we're going to do a short thing. It's going to be, I'll do a little talk. This is what we're doing. A little bit about the commission. If all the commissioners could be on the porch, so we can say, hey, hi. I'll try to make it less boring than the copy I sent to Jen, who said it was boring and dry.
Who said that?
I didn't think it was. I don't think I got it.
You know,
Nothing's boring about you, and Jenna.
I took the tour and it was wonderful. Talithia, our grant writer, and I took the tour.
Oh,
And
you did?
it was really informative. I like how it starts off and how it ends. It always ends with a happy note, and
Oh.
I found it wonderful. The waterworks building is not on the map correctly, but other than that, I didn't find any fault with it.
How do you get online to
And Chris, I wonder if it might be nice if you added a few comments, like when we introduced. So So Christy's gonna send me a brief bio again. I'll introduce her, give her a little bit of her background. But, you know, you'll be up there with us, right? Because we're gonna have the commission members. This is informal. It's not gonna be fuzzy. It's just gonna be an informal introduction. But if Chris, if you're there, and I mean, if you want to pipe up or make any comments like you just did about, you know, before she talks about it, I think, you know, that would be great.
Oh, well, I won't have any criticism, but yeah, I'll make some nice comments. We just took it to make sure that it was geographically correct.
What else? Sorry.
Yep. Elizabeth, can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
The
Yes.
brochure you just held up, they sell at the History Museum for $5.
Oh, do they?
Yes. So we're not giving them out.
No. I did not know that they sold them. And this was just going to be something so people could say, see, this is what we took the audio tour from. But that's good to know. So, but I mean, hopefully I'll get mine back. I don't.
Well, the
I didn't
online
exactly-
version is free. So,
This is actually
Just
George's
download to your
copy.
phone.
oh wow.
Well, Al Milton might have some on hand to sell.
Okay. Oh, yes, that would be great. So I think we're talking to Christy and Al that they got things logistically worked out, that they're good to go. You know, it's 3 to 5. The sun might be an issue if we're going to be on the west porch, but we'll figure that out unless we have smoke and wind like today, and then we'll just, I don't think we'll be able to do it, but,
Gotta get the maintenance going.
It's apocalyptic.
Mm-hmm.
Something needs to change.
Yeah, that's weird.
The fire needs to go out.
Yeah, can you put the
Can we go
fires out?
inside the History Museum?
Say it
If we
again.
have a day like today?
Yeah, you
I
can
think
go
we
inside.
could go inside, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have, yeah, we'll just have to see if they can get prepared with chairs, because they don't usually have chairs out.
Yeah, we may have to do some chair rearranging.
Yeah.
It's gonna be clear, we're
Well,
gonna.
That brings me back to, so remember, we're going to show up at 2 o'clock. Everybody needs to be there at 2
Mm-hmm.
on that day, just to make sure we got everything set up. I mean, it's not a lot of setup, just, so we have chairs and cookies, and we talked about doing some balloons on tables. I don't know if anybody wants to handle that, and then we've got to help with the, Shirley was going to bring the soft drinks with the coolers. We'll need to help, lug that up the stairs to the museum.
I could get a hold of a cooler too.
You can actually drive in and
I have
park
a
as
small
close
cooler.
on that side where the doors are. There's a
Okay,
driveway.
I'm gonna bring the tent and the cooler that's here and
Awesome.
anything else that
Oh, I
we
put some ice as well.
Yeah.
So drinks and ice.
Okay.
So
What else do we think about? I think that's all. Oh, and Tom and Jana have connected. So Tom Potter is on board. He'll do his little presentation. I don't mean to say little, but his short presentation about the resources at the library. So I think that worked out just fine, and he sounds like he's very happy to do it. So thank you, Jana, for connecting with Tom.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the timing on this, that if
Yeah,
Christie has
yeah.
to leave by 4:30, and
Yeah.
and we add all these people introductions, she's not gonna be able to do that.
Well, I think you're right. I think it will be tight, and that's why I think that we need to be done at the Chappelle House by 3:50, and then these aren't long introductions. These are very short introductions, and then
could we move her to the top?
Have her do it before we introduce.
Yeah, can we move her to the top of the bill at the history?
Museum, yeah.
Before o'clock.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
introduce
Jana
people
had
after.
suggested that previously, and I think that's a good idea. So I like the idea of us going first, so there's some context and background. But logistically, I think it would make sense to have Christie go first, yeah. So if I could just, go ahead.
We could put Tom over at the Chappelle House if we wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
The two Toms.
What about that?
He's a good friend of mine.
Good. Y'all get along?
This is how we hang out. Yeah, we
Oh,
used
good.
to back before COVID.
Okay.
He's a good guy, and his wife Carol.
Yeah, they are nice. It's friendly.
So do you want to do that? Should we just have him talk over at the Chappelle House?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Is Georgie got invited? Do we invite Georgie? Clark?
I have invited her, but I'll make a formal invite.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how to get a hold of her. Well, I guess I have her phone number. I could send her.
I'll talk to Tom in person.
Thank you,
She'll know
Jen.
the name of that previous historical commissioner.
She
Yeah.
And I
probably
want to
will.
be, we're respectful of all of our time, so is there anything else that we need to talk about?
I think you did a good job on this,
Delivered
lady.
to Chris.
Chris is gonna take over the banner, so that's good. I'm blessing you for that, because that's a short. It's 2 weeks.
I want to see if I can get a quote from my guy in Pueblo who said he was going to offer stuff for free. So
Oh, good.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
I want to see if he's going to be a man of his word.
Great. And that's 2 weeks away, right? We're almost 2 weeks away. Almost right now.
Very close.
It's the
Maybe
Yes,
three
yeah.
almost, but still.
nothing like the last minute. Things are faster than me.
I feel like I dropped the ball on the banners.
Bags, I guess.
I'm so sorry.
So does anybody have any inside scoop on the balloons for the tables, for our table?
Oh, I guess it's on my list here to bring balloons and brochures.
Yeah, and anything else if we have, I don't know if you want to bring copies of the survey just for display only, to put out any of the historic preservation surveys that have been done.
All right.
Do we have other materials that are kind of show and tell kind of stuff that can
Well-
go on our information table?
We have all these. I have like 6 books of surveys. They're
Yeah,
pretty.
You don't want to bring those.
Yeah, that's pretty dry.
Just those.
Yeah.
Just those
You
new
don't want to have
ones.
to carry them
The
around.
2020
2020 survey.
and the other one that's the 2021, or is it? I don't know what year it is. It's the 2020 survey because that's pretty. Book isn't like a little.
Yeah, the 2020 is nice because it has a lot of photos in it. People might look at those, I don't know.
All right. I have bring tent, ice chests, brochures, balloons, and surveys.
And hopefully banners, we'll see.
And banners, yes.
So do we have any other tables other than the Mitchell? Is the visitor center doing a table?
She was evidently, I actually made contact with her in person, and she was going to call Chris, but evidently never has.
Oh, you made a party packet.
Yeah.
Can you check with her again?
She actually really interested.
Yeah, nice to have at least 2 or
Maybe
3.
she forgot. So maybe if you reminded her.
Sure.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
You did a good job. You guys are very organized. Plus you
I'll
document
try to
it,
get in touch with Fox West again, too.
and I'll get it. I'll
Let's
tag
make
you along
sure
with it.
for people to come. Yeah, I
Everybody
really
has
think
to
if
bring
we
a
could
buddy.
get Chris Smith to come and somebody to represent that entity would be important, but,
Mm-hmm.
do our
I
best.
should try to get the mayor.
Could I say something?
Yeah.
So, if with everything that's going on, we're just coming out of COVID. If we don't have that good a turnout, let's do it again.
Right.
In 6 months or next year. I'm open to doing it. I mean, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. And it's like sometimes it doesn't work the first time. Do it again.
Right.
So I'm really proud of spending the last 40 years fixing my place up. So I mean, just sitting here is like, oh, this I there's stuff I got to order from Amazon now because I can do the presentation from down in front off my pad, and I'll just like and I the photos in it. It's like, so you got to tell me how much time do I get? Do I get 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Because I can make this go. And now I don't have to worry about walking you guys through the building. But if somebody approaches me and says, "Hey, Tom, another time would you walk us through?" It's like I've given a lot of tours through the years, and it's fascinating. So, but just tell me how much time and I'll do it.
I think it'd be easier just to do the photo.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm going to stand in front because now
Safety issues.
we do a lot of the stuff from the back because if somebody's doing a funeral thing, we put it in back with the music. Well, I realize now I'm just going to string more HDMI cable and have it right there at the podium so I can stand there and do my slides so I don't have to be in back. So while you guys were talking, I'm like, oh, I know what I can do. I'll do this and this and this. I'm like, okay. And so, I mean, the photos that I can take and put on there, I mean, I can take you through, I have photos from the beginning, all the way to now.
That would be
cool.
great.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it gave me some great ideas. That's why I'm glad I go to all these meetings because it's like,
Comes there and introduces it.
Yeah.
Oh, sure you are.
5 to 350.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. And again, I'm sorry for the lack of communication last couple of months, but I've been overwhelmed. But things are working out. My mother's healthy, and so that's the key.
How
So
old is she?
94.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to turn this off so I can talk. And